with zero fashion background, no experience into textiles at all.
But your sarees look so fashionable. How is Huts and Looms funded?
We are not funded.
Yes, we aspire to be on Shark Tank someday.
The story of Huts and Looms started, with a strong purpose of giving back. Being business partners tests all the limits of a relationship.
Some of the challenges you think people face in today's world when they think of starting a business?
The biggest obstacle for the challenge is the success is the outcome of a lot of challenges.
Days where you will feel like this is a mistake I did, it is a grave blunder.
Where do you see Huts and Looms in next 5 to 10 years? Like, what is the long-term vision for the company? Namaskar, hello, welcome to Good Vibe Show. Today, we have the pleasure of speaking with two incredibly inspiring individuals, Jaya and Tufan Saha, the co-founders of Huts and Looms. Their journey is a beautiful blend of passion, tradition, and purpose. Together, they have created a platform that not only promotes sustainable fashion but also empowers the weaver community across India. With their deep-rooted love for hand-woven textiles and a mission to bring them to the modern world, Jaya and Tufan are making a significant impact on the saree industry. Let's dive into their story and learn more about the passion behind Huts and Looms. Hello, Jaya and Tufan. Welcome to Good Vibe Show.
Thank you so much, Vandana. Thank you for inviting us.
Thank you so much. It's a great pleasure to be here.
Thank you. So, before we dive into the story of Huts and Looms, let's take a step back. Tell us about your background, like where do you come from and what were your careers like?
So, to start, if I talk about my career, I come from a very non-fashion background. So, I had no experience of textile, fashion. Uh, my entire career was into human resources. So, I started as an HR. My last experience with a corporate was also being an HR. But what experience I carried from my previous job was that I started with a startup company. And when I left, the company was a growing company. I started with 5 employees. And when I left, it was 500 plus people in the organization. So I have seen the entire transition, the difficulties, the challenges, what happens in a workforce. Also, I got a chance to deal with human at very detailed or in a very micro way. Because when you are scaling an organization, you are recruiting people, you are training them, you find a lot of new challenges when you are scaling the organization. So I think that experience helped me. But when I started Huts and Loom, when we started Huts and Loom, it was entire new journey for us. Fashion was totally new. D2C industry, we were learning everything. So basically, this is where I come from.
Yeah, same. I mean, with zero fashion background, no experience into textiles at all. Working through and throughout into sales. But then, I had a very first-hand experience into sustainability with paper. And craft and stuff like that. And the journey took a very interesting turn for me when we started our first venture in sustainable packaging back in 2016. And that's our first, step towards sustainability. So from 2016, the experience for entrepreneurship for us started. But then when stepping as the years progressed, 2019 is when the seed for yet another entrepreneurship journey started, brewing between us. And fast forward 2020 is when we stepped into sustainable fashion. Well, the journey is in front of you and still taking shape. So, that's how it has been for us.
I must say, you both come from different backgrounds and amazing journey. As you said, Jaya, that you don't come from a fashion background, but your sarees look so fashionable. So amazing. And working in a startup gives you a lot of experience. Like, I have also worked for a startup, but just for like 1.5 year or so, but it teaches you a lot. Yeah.
True.
Amazing.
You
So,
see the transition there.
yeah,
So you have a first-hand experience. So when you spend day in and day out, when there is a transition, you get to see a lot of things and learn a lot of things. Yeah.
agree. So, who was the first one to come up with this idea of starting a sari business?
So I'll tell you. So this question has two parts.
Hmm.
I'll answer in two parts, sorry. So
Okay.
basically, me and Tufan were always very focused towards sustainability. That is how his first venture started into sustainable packaging. Um, so we always discussed about starting something where we can work with people who are very, who are underprivileged, or where we can impact the society, where we can walk toward our roots. It was only the identifying the products which I did, because also being a woman, and coming from Bengal and coming from a place where there is a weaving cluster all around. I have grown up seeing people making sarees on handloom. So somewhere in one of my travel to my home, uh, it struck me, why not to do something into it? There's such a fantastic product out there, and there is so much to do about it. There are a lot of brands doing, but we still have a gap. So that is where I took that product idea to Tufan, that see, we want to do something towards the sustainability, towards the society. Let's take this product. I think it has immense, potential out there, and we can do a lot towards it. And that is how the idea of taking sari into this thing, this business came.
Sari has, it's part of that roti kapra makan that you see out there.
Yeah.
Although a kapra, as in sari is a symbol, I would say it has a historic symbolism to it. As a product in India, we get depicted. It has a very symbolic kind of. It's very symbolic by nature. The fashion itself, the way women have been adorning it across the years, ages. So, and apart from that, the history, the heritage, the rich craftsmanship it has carried, this product itself, the fashion itself has carried over the years. It's amazing, you
And
know.
also, it was not very difficult. It be itself a woman-centric product, majority. It was not very difficult to actually discuss this with Tufan, because he also comes from Bengal. So in Bengal, sari is a very integral part of life. So you will see in Saraswati Puja, in small functions, even
Yes.
small girls wearing cotton saris. So it was something we always aligned to, this product, emotionally as well as in terms of a product. So I think it was easy for us to get sari as a product for the
Right
business.
now, we're
Yeah.
definitely emotional about it.
Yes.
Yeah, even I have seen, while growing up, my mom and my relatives wearing sari, and I'm from Bihar, and Bengal is like you have a lot of Bengalis in Bihar as
Yes.
well. So
Yes.
I've seen them wearing in all festivals, Saraswati Puja, Durga Puja, like it's like a celebration of different kind of
Yes.
saris that you get to
Yes.
see in these festivals. So I mean,
Absolutely.
yeah. So what was the first step you took when you decided to start this sari business?
I mean, interesting thing I'll tell you, the entire journey that we have covered so far, when we look back and we discuss and try to, memorize or talk about the journey, uh, there has not been a so-called first step. It has all been, all it's all been very organic in nature. So when she found the love, when she found the product about about sari as a whole, we just delved into that journey. We went into that cluster. We saw the process. We started creating something. Which sometimes came out very interesting and very fantastic, and sometimes it was a disaster. and then the whole learning and the whole experience just went on becoming better and better over the period of time. um, we have done a lot of R&D and a lot of stuff with the warp and weft of the entire craft. We have done a lot of mixing and matching with colors, dyes, yarns, trying to do whatever we wanted to, and then ultimately giving us the products that we have today. So the entire journey has been quite, I would say, there has never not been a so-called first step for us.
But yes, of course, learning was a very integral part because, we come from a non-fashion background. So textile is itself a very vast, the sector itself.
Mhm.
So it was a huge learning process for us, learning yarns, dyes, which are reso-free, which are chemical-based dye. Why do some colors bleed and some colors do not? So learning all those process was interesting, challenging, but of course, it is a memorable journey for us, and it
Very
still
much, very
is.
much. I mean, today we have team, our production head,
Mhm.
uh, who is one of the third, I would say our third pillar. Uh, he comes from a banking background, he used to work in HDFC Bank. But today,
Yeah.
if a weaver is not able to fix a problem on the loom, he can tell you what to do. So
Wow.
we are hands-on. So he tells you what yarns, what is the behavior of a particular yarn on a loom. If the spindle gets stuck, if a thread breaks down, breaks up, and you see a defect starting to crop up or appear on a sari, we know the solution for it. So we are very hands-on, and this has only happened as since we have dived into the process and are very passionate about this entire thing. It's not just a product for us. We live and breathe it every day. That's why we started by saying that you love our products. We love them too. There's a lot of love.
Of course, and I can say that, only when you're passionate about something, then only you can be successful, right? You need to truly love what you do. So amazing. And can you explain, before we get deeper into the conversation, can you explain what does a handloom or handwoven sari means? Because many of people, like many people, won't understand what does it truly mean.
So, so a hand-woven sari is always a handloom sari,
Mm-hmm.
and
Okay.
vice versa. So basically, handloom is the equipment which we are talking about, the wooden structure which is operated by hand. So
Okay.
the loom is the structure. So we usually brands either call it sometimes handloom sarees because it's made on that equipment. Sometimes legs are also used along with the hand, which is used in pit looms, like while they make jamdani and those uh, crafts like Banarasi. Sometimes the pit looms are used where hand and legs both are used. So it is very manually run wooden structure equipment which is made, which is called handloom. Now, when the saris are woven by hand, it's called hand woven saris. So it's a similar thing. Only difference comes when we talk about handcrafted. So sometimes handcrafted and hand woven has a little bit of difference because handcrafted also can be on a machine woven product. There can be a handcraft, which is handcraft. We can talk about blocks. We can talk about hand embroideries. These are craft,
Embellishments.
embellishment. These are craft, which are made by hand. It can be on a power loom fabric also. So this is a difference between a hand woven and a
Mm-hmm.
handcraft. But handloom and hand woven sarees are similar.
So you would see in some videos the weavers are moving the spindles either by the hand or by the legs.
Legs and hand woven.
Yeah, so the whole objective is to make the spindle move from left to right. So that adds to the cross-directional movement or adding of the yarns, right?
Oh. This is very informative for me as well. I'm sure many of our viewers will find this very informative. So, as a buyer, like how can I differentiate between a sari which is like hand woven and which is like a power loom sari or a machine made sari? So, how can I differentiate?
So actually, it requires very detailed observation.
Mhm.
So when you look at a handloom fabric, it there is a warp and weft. So the yarns run in a vertical and a horizontal way, and that is how the fabric is produced. So the when you see the knit, it is very loose. It is loose in handlooms, but when we talk about power looms, they're very tightly knit, and there are no irregularities.
Mm-hmm.
Usually, there are a little bit of irregularities because what happens when we run a loom? Sometimes the thread get tears in between, so the weavers has to sometimes the tie the thread minutely with the fingers. So a lot of consumer do not understand and they think that
It's
it's
a
a
defect.
defect, but usually it's not a defect. It's the beauty of the hand woven sarees, because anything made by hand will not be perfect, and that's the beauty. That is how the rusticness or the rootedness comes out in a product. Also, when we look at the borders, if you see the borders, if they are little bit of not perfectly done, that is a handloom sarees. But if you see a machine woven sarees, the borders will be crisp and very perfectly done. Usually, that is how you majorly identify hand woven sarees than a power loom saree. And
Great.
also, the fabric feels very soft in a handloom because it's loosely like
Yeah.
woven. The yarns and weft are done tightly, because in a machine there's a speed at which it is running and the fabrics are very tight. So
Yeah.
there is no that softness, that's breathableness or softness coming out. So that is how you differentiate.
You to find a few imperfections to
Mm-hmm.
the handloom sari, but that's the whole beauty of it. So
Yeah.
when you see a hand woven or a cotton fabric which is hand woven, and then you see block prints on top of it, you'll
Mm-hmm.
not find the crispness of the prints at the edges. But that's what the beauty of the block prints are, a hand woven or a sari made out of a handloom has a little bit of imperfections to it, but that adds to the uniqueness or the human touch to this whole thing or the whole product, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. So those little imperfections makes the handloom sarees perfect.
Absolutely.
True, true.
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you for the clarification. I know, like, it takes a lot of effort. I can imagine, like, for a weaver to create that handloom sari, and they are the backbones of this handloom industry. So, can you tell us about the weavers you work with? Like, where do they come from? Which part of India?
So, a majority of the weavers that we work with currently are from the Bengal clusters, from the West Bengal clusters. But as we speak, I mean, our footprints are increasing. So, across Varanasi cluster, right now we are also, starting our work with the MP Madhya Pradesh Chanderi cluster. We are also starting our work with the Jaipuri cluster. So, primarily, currently, today, as of today, I would say 70% of our crafts come from the Bengal clusters, because it's easier said than done managing and working, because our way of working with the weavers is very different. We engage with them very personally.
Mm-hmm.
Today, we have, I mean, dined with so many weavers at their
Wow.
houses. We love to talk with them about food a lot. So
Mm-hmm.
how can I do that, very easily with somebody from Varanasi or from Jaipur?
Mm-hmm.
But now we said that, our community led growth is so primary for us, is so focused for us. We said that, as we also increase our footprints, uh, we should also, engage with these clusters a lot. So right now we find that this time is good enough to increase our cluster base or a weaver base. So yeah, for us, their food, their habits, their lifestyle is as important as the product that they weave for us.
Amazing. And since like you work with the viewers very closely, and I've also read on your website that you contribute a portion of the your income towards the welfare of the viewer community. So can you tell us like how do you utilize those funds for their welfare?
Vandana, the story of Huts and Looms started, with a strong purpose of giving back. You know, Uh, I very strongly remember when we were thinking, when Jaya was about to, I was thinking strongly of starting something, community driven or giving back to the society. Uh, uh, we brainstormed over this over, 6, 8, 10 months long, and then we finally came up with this idea. So why I'm sharing this with you today is because our purpose of giving back is so strong that we want the whole journey or the objective of Huts and Looms, growing to the next level is solely focused on the purpose that we could significantly contribute to these people in a bigger and better way. So when I say that, currently, what we are trying to do is, contribute an impact on the basic uh, improvement of their livelihoods, maybe through medical help, through sanitation improvement, condition improvements of the clusters that we work in, trying to contribute towards, education by improving the classroom conditions of the schools where a majority of our weavers are operating. We are even trying to come out with a program where we would want to really sponsor some of the bright minds of the weavers' children. Why? Because education is something which could only take this their plight or their cause to the next level. So we would really want to work towards that. We're trying to work towards very strong towards the medical benefit. So this thing is small, but the vision is very big. The purpose of giving back even in a bigger and better way is very big. So I guess when we try to see the 4 years journey, there's a long way to go and a long and a bigger contribution on the way. So for the weavers.
So we want to keep a dedicated effort because we want to map the progress. We don't want to do just for the sake of saying that we are doing, because I understand, because a lot of brands do that, a lot of companies do that. But see, somewhere your intention has to be very right. Even if you are saying 10,000 marketing words, but at last you know what you are doing. So somewhere we are very true to our conscience, and this is what is very deeply connected to our the starting of the this Huts and Looms. So somewhere we want to do substantially so much that we can map the progress, we can see the upliftment of certain. Maybe we do not touch 2,000 lives, we touch a smaller lives, maybe 100 lives, but those 100 lives at least get better with time. That is what we are looking forward to.
Amazing. Your intentions are very noble, and you guys are doing a commendable job. Amazing. So, since we talked so much about funds, I'm just thinking about Shark Tank. Like, how is Huts and Looms funded?
We are not funded. That's the even, I mean, we take great pride in that. We are a completely 100% bootstrapped company, uh, believing in growing and scaling sustainably. So we have a lot of old school thoughts behind profitability. So profitable not only while scaling, profitable for towards a purpose as well. So yeah, to answer your question, we are still a bootstrap brand. And if you ask about Shark Tank, it's a very big platform. Every budding, aspiring, or growing brand would dream of going on that, participating in that platform, and so do we. But in the last 5 years, we have been so engrossed at the grassroots level, engaging and growing and scaling together with our weavers from with the rural part of the country. It was a very intense process for us. We can see the results coming out, and we are very proud of that. And thanks to our weaver family who has always supported us along the way and making us who we are. All the credit goes to them. So maybe for them, we'll have to we would aspire to even participate on Shark Tank and present their journey,
Because it's Shark Tank itself is also an intense journey
Yes,
where you have to dedicate
a lot of
certain
time.
time to it. So we want to justify everything and then go. And yes, we aspire to be on Shark Tank someday.
Maybe the if you ask me the reason why, I would say that platform would give us the opportunity to share their story, to share on a global scale, what, because we as a brand are only working for two major causes. One for the weavers, and second towards speaking as strongly as possible to this rich heritage of the country and the rich craft of the country, So nothing, no better platform than Shark Tank, for sure.
Yeah, and I see Shark Tank not only a platform for, getting funds, but also a great
Exactly.
marketing platform. So
Absolutely,
Right, right.
absolutely.
amazing. And the viewers that whom you work with, like what are some of the challenges they are encountering in sustaining their craft? Like, what do you think are the challenges that needs to be solved for the viewers?
So there are various factor, Vandana here. I think one of them is the fast growing market of the fast fashion. There is a competitive market out there. Uh, there is also unfair payment of wages to the weavers. So a lot of Mahajan or small brands do take undue advantage of their they don't have the technical know-how to reach out to that vast market out there who really want their product, because a lot of them do not know how to operate efficiently the smartphone, how to be there on the marketplace by themselves. So somewhere the lack of knowledge, the lack of proper direction also tend also makes them helpless. A lot of people take undue advantage and manipulate them. So that is one thing which is, I think, a major drawback for them. There's also, there's a fast fashion out there. There
Yeah.
is power loom sarees. Now what happens? Consumers, those who are even aware of handloom sarees, a lot of time it happens that they do not care. India is a price sensitive market, I do understand, but people who can afford also, they sometimes do not care about it. Like, why not to choose a handloom sari by paying 1,000 rupees extra if I can afford so? But that is a lack of awareness or lack of consciousness, conscious buying, what you would say, where we need to care about the people, where we need to care about people who are preserving the heritage. So somewhere I think these are the challenges. Uh, People are making a lot of content, a lot of branding around handloom and slow fashion, but somewhere, the acceptability is still very slow, because again, you have machine made chicken curry and there is a hand chicken curry. So people will go with a very cheap price product and think that I will wear once or twice and that's it. Okay. But they don't consider it as only craft. They only consider it as a product out there. So that is where the difference comes.
Well, thanks. I mean, any major shifts to happen in a country is greatly driven by the initiatives of the government. So here a big shout out to all the great initiatives that the government is taking at this point of time to promote the textile, the promote vocal for local, I mean, the Make in India. Of course, challenges are there in every sector or every category. Fast fashion, we cannot change people's preferences, but then at the same time, promoting your culture, promoting your heritage, promoting the craft. And here the government is really playing a very crucial role, and no doubt about it. I mean, there has been a huge shift, about the outlook towards the entire the category as a whole, and that is solely being driven by the government. So, and who are benefiting out of it? Definitely the weavers out there. The entire industry or the category of the weavers out there are benefiting out of these initiatives, and we are just trying to, even as we speak, there are so many kind of initiatives or grants available or made available by the governments. It's just out there. Go there and take the benefits out of it. And we don't look at challenges as such. I mean, there's always a solution sort of it, and that has always been the mantra for us through and throughout. Yeah,
But I think the onus also lies on the consumer and also the brands, apart from the government initiative, that how do we honestly take it ahead, and how can we preserve our culture? So I think the onus also lies on various other stakeholders along with that.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
True.
it's amazing to know how government is, starting these initiatives. But as
Yes.
a consumer, we need to be more aware when we are buying something from the market. Very true. So,
And a lot has been completely radicalized, I mean, uh, India is a very price sensitive market. It's a value driven,
mhm,
uh, big brands, putting their ads out there, asking,
you
I mean, you remember a Maruti ad where they showed a yacht and the
mhm,
customer was asking, "Iska mileage kitna hai?" So that's what India is. But then at the same time, a lot of brands are out there are trying to, make these things, the products in the most affordable way possible, being sustainable, being handloom or handmade, and yet providing it at the best price possible, not being driven by just two brands 6 years ago, where on the sari that we are selling today at 3,000 Indian rupees was used to be sold at 10,000, 12,000.
yeah.
Monopolistic behavior, so that is getting changed, and that we along with Huts and Loom, several other brands are redefining the space in a very in a great way,
Yeah, totally agree. And we need more and more people like you, entrepreneurs like you, to promote and preserve our handicraft and heritage. So I know you guys are both amazing business partners, but you guys are life partners too. So I'll ask some questions because you guys shared like a dynamic, unique dynamics. So between you guys, how do you divide responsibilities to ensure there is a smooth operation always?
So honestly, Vandana, uh, when we started, so we have been partners, but we have never been co-workers.
Mhm.
So when we started working together as a business partner, there were challenges. I would not say it was smooth. It was a like moonwalk. No, it wasn't. There were situation where we were just thinking, have we done something wrong or something like this? This used to come in our mind, but we were very much passionate about the vision we were sharing about Huts and Loom. That is what kept us alive. And we thought that if this thing has to work out, we have to share the responsibilities. So
Hmm.
somewhere we share the responsibilities among ourselves, but there are decisions where we take each other opinions. We take joint decisions. There are important things on which we take joint decisions. We started to understand how to take differences of opinion in a more conclusive way. How can we approach it? Sometimes it still happens that there is a debate going between us. I have a different point of view, he has a different point of view, and nothing is working out. We just stop there, we just take a break. We do not keep on debating on things because it has no clue, no, logical end. So let's take a break, let's see the
Mhm.
numbers, let's see the data, let's come back, regroup again. So I think the next time we regroup, we understand each other opinion better. So it do happen, but it has become more lesser now when we have worked, I think, 5 years
I mean,
together.
it's not easy. I would start by saying that, but then what is important is the fundamentals of the relationship. I mean, we were life partners first and business partners after that, right? So if somebody is venturing into that territory of being business partners, was you have to figure out your fundamentals strongly. You
Yeah.
have to relook into that because it's definitely not easy. But the best part is being business partners tests all the limits of a relationship, you
Hmm.
know. And guy, if you have tried it out and if it has worked for you, then you're soulmates. I would only have to say about that, you know. There's no other test or there is no other examinations. A couple needs to go through that, post that, because it tests you on your patience, your financial acumen, your decision-making capability, spot on. And it's like as a partner, not as business partners, I always have to, somewhere back down. Maybe, maybe or may not be. But then someone has to take that. But in business, you can be emotional in a business decision,
Right,
right?
right.
Yeah.
It's all driven by rationality. Now think of a situation where you are real life partners, and then in a meeting room, one of them is not one of the opinions is not correct. The other partner has to say, yes, I agree with you. I think I was not correct in that. That tests your limit. You have to put all those things aside and start taking rational decisions, but then it's fun. It's lovely. It's not easy. Maybe it's lovely today. Tomorrow we might have another argument, but the day after will be sunny too.
But if your intention is that we really want to work out, I mean, work this out, right? If there is a problem statement, we want to get a solution. We don't have, if you don't have in the mind, ki, no, I should win, or I should be the person who has to be right. If
Yeah.
we come with that kind of tendency, I think things are not going to work. But if you come with that, even if there is an argument and you come with the intention of getting a solution, I think you somewhere navigate through the process.
But there's a beauty of real life partners going to become business partners. If that works out, that's a deadly combination also at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that can work wonders. I mean, there used to be there still is, but it's much lesser in today's context. I mean, there was a taboo at least 2.5, 3 years ago. VCs and investors did not primarily was keen on putting in money of into companies where the founders are partners, are husbands and wives or so on. There was a taboo. They did not put in money into those companies because of the possible turbulence or the possible
Like
irregularities or whatever
compromise on decision making.
complications that might come out. But then we have seen great examples in the business ecosystem recently, and the best ones. I mean, so the future is bright, it seems, for both of us.
You guys are also setting a great example. I'm sure more and more partners will come together to start a
They
business.
should. They
Yeah.
should.
Yeah.
Trust me, they should, because there is a great strength in this kind of in this kind of setting.
Combination,
Yes,
yes.
yes, there's a great strength behind it.
Amazing. And I think it's okay to have sometimes like, creative disagreements, but as long as
Absolutely.
you're able to resolve them and you are able to decide what is good for the business, then it's okay. Right.
We have disagreements even in normal kind of colleagues, right? I
Yeah.
mean, that's a usual thing. Why has that to be glorified or pointed out that it can happen only in this kind of scenario? It can happen anywhere. That's whole. There will be disagreements so that we can come to an agreement. It's as simple as that.
Hmm. So tell me one thing that you both admire about each other as a business partner.
So, the thing I admire about Tufan is discipline. He
Hmm.
is very much disciplined. He's very honest to his work. He has a great negotiation skills.
Wow.
And also, a lot of time it happens. I majorly take care of the marketing thing in Huts and Looms. So a lot of time there are situations, there are challenges, and I seek his perspective. A lot of time it is very, you get some insight which is like a 360-degree insight, and you may be seeing something very short sighted, maybe a short term, but you see in another perspective where you can see a long term think that if I take this decision now, how it is going to impact me in next 1 2 years. So that is the kind of perspective I get from Tufan. So also there are days where, I feel I am kind of a very creative person. So sometimes it feels like I have days where it is a bad day, it's not working out for me, certain things is not coming in the mind. But the best part is he's very supportive. He comes and tells me, take your own time, it's fine if it is not happening. uh, when somebody comes and question you and without understanding your point of view, that is where I think sometimes you feel very more low about things. But sometimes he's one of the person who motivates me day in and day out, not because he's my husband, but as a co-worker or as a business partner, I learn a lot of things from him.
I
Amazing.
guess one of the points that she mentioned was the brighter side of, I mean, the if a real life partner starts a business together, all those points covers that aspect that I was talking about. Because I mean, there's also a personal side to it, right? Because if your partner is feeling low, the other partner is also emotional and sees through that kind of scenario and pushes you. It's okay, you just need to cut off today, maybe come back stronger tomorrow, right? That's what a real life partner can do. Not could be a maybe a not a just a business partner, right? So yeah, coming back to her strengths, right? So I mean, she's very passionate, right? She's very passionate. I mean, definitely love to have someone by your side like her who brings a lot of fresh perspectives, a lot of creativity on the table. I know a lot of understanding of product, maybe, and fun to be with. I mean, spend the entire work day together and still, at the end of the day, I mean, if there's a problem, she's always there trying to grill it out, find the solutions to it. So I would say, look, as she was mentioning I mean, a couple of questions before, everything about each other, we are just very complementary by nature. We fill each other's gaps. I would not. I'm full of flaws, maybe. But then somehow, interestingly, she fills in all those gaps, and we come together. Maybe as a good combination, where we can make things turn in our favor. So I would say, if you ask me, I will
Yeah, so
fall
we
short of
both are not,
words.
so we
Oh
have
my God. I can
we
see the
have
mutual admiration for each other.
yeah, so we have imperfection, we have our own weakness.
Yeah.
The best part is that we admit our weakness. So as I said that he is more disciplined. So I understand my weakness that someday I really cannot focus on work. He is like whatever mate comes. If he has certain assignment, maybe it's the worst day in his life, but he is going to deliver that. But for me, it's a challenge. So maybe when I'm not able to focus, I ask help out, reach out to him that can you help me with that? Can you deliver this? So he's there to help me out. So that is how I think we have accepted each other flaws. If we had been like uncomfortable with each other's flaws, कि ये इतना अनडिसिप्लिन है या ये इस दिन नहीं कर रहा है, अब मुझे करना पड़ रहा है, सो दिस इज नॉट हाउ थिंग्स विल वर्क, सो वहां पे प्रॉब्लम हो जाता है. इफ वी जस्ट एज लाइफ पार्टनर्स एंड बिजनेस पार्टनर ऑल्सो, आई थिंक इफ वी एक्सेप्ट ईच अदर फ्लॉज एंड ट्राई टू फिल इन द गैप, आई थिंक थिंग्स, वो होता है ना चीनी के जार में आप चीनी डालते हो तो थोड़ा हिला देते हो तो चीनी और ज्यादा चल जाता है. तो दैट इज हाउ आई थिंक थिंग्स शुड बी.
Amazing. So आप दोनों a made for each other couple हो. I can say that, right?
I think every couple is made for each other. That is why it is said marriages are made in heaven. So
Yeah.
God chooses everyone perfectly.
Right, right. So do you guys have like a strict no work talks policy at home? Like आप लोग घर पर you don't talk about business, is it?
I mean, if anybody tells you that, trust me, don't believe that him or her. Okay, don't, never, never. So, I mean, there's a reason behind it. I mean, Vandana, first of all, तो हम लोग real life partners हैं. फिर उसके बाद दोनों मिलके अच्छा खासा, वी वर बोथ, आई मीन, इन अ हाई पेड जॉब. We are
Yeah.
traveling around the world in our kind of respective jobs, and life was set, perfect. कोई दिक्कत नहीं है. And
Mm.
after that, you choose to start something, right? And then you take up the harder call. And so when you to start something on your own, the first thing that a person has to do is adjust, compromise on a lot of things. I mean, the first comes your lifestyle, right? So you take a hit immediately on that. For what? To start something on your own. Now, when you have put so much things at stake, right, to fuel your journey or to build something, आप कैसे cut off करोगे? It's never possible. So yes, again, the best part of being real life partners, becoming business partners, fundamentally things are okay. And then you're scaling and building something out of so much passion. You can choose to channelize. आप कभी उसके बारे में डिस्कस करते हो, कभी नहीं करते हो, but then work becomes fun. Because your coffee conversation starts into your boardroom conversation sometimes, and then sometimes it all depends on आप किस नोट पे वो कॉन्वर्सेशन कर रहे हो. हमारे लिए so the entire work culture in a company is, we're trying to brew that in such a way that the discussions even are fun. With when we call our ops head in the evening, it starts off with a funny note. We joke we crack jokes with each other. I mean, तुमसे तो ये गलती होना ही था. ये तो कोई अननेचुरल सी बात है नहीं. अगर किसी ने अटेंडेंस नहीं डाला है तो बोलता हाँ ये तो ठीक है, वो तो नेचुरल. वो भी हंसता है, हम भी हंसते हैं. तो हमारा we take life. Everybody is ambitious, by the way. Everybody is aligned. The whole team is aligned. We are aligned. But then our life is easy. We try to keep our lives easy so that ये जब ऑफिस की बात भी हो ना, तो
Mm.
there's less of tensions in it and more of fun into it. There should be, otherwise you can't stretch yourself beyond office, where life will become very difficult.
But sometimes we also have discussion, like it's kind of a very out of the world discussion, also very imaginative things, you understand, right? Sometimes we are talking about how Elon Musk is sending people to Mars and how are they going to survive there? So how they are going to generate oxygen over there. So we are talking those kind of a thing also. And sometimes we are talking about business. So you understand when a business partner and a life partner is there, and you are having a discussion, they are not going to judge, first
Yeah.
of all. They're not going to judge you by your conversation.
Our
So you can
team, I mean,
sometimes talks whatever you like.
so our team tells us when you guys are traveling for vacation, we'll not connect with you. But हम तो हम ही हैं. मतलब हमारा फितरत कहाँ जाएगा? I mean, हम तो उस आदत से छूट नहीं सकते हैं. तो सबसे पहले जाने से पहले we ensure that our data packs for the international travels, are fully charged. So the out comes the laptop, pops open the slides, and सब लोग देख के सब हंसते हैं. मतलब आप लोग pagal, are you guys crazy? But you cannot disconnect. It's never possible. It's not possible.
Even our teammates
Yeah.
usually go for vacation. So one of our marketing person went for a vacation to, I think, Kunnur or somewhere like that. Uh, she was constantly sending us pictures of the coffee she had, the coffee plantations she visited. So even we are trying to tell, yeah, it's Saturday, Sunday, take break, don't send us message. But still, they want to share their lives and fun moments with us.
Amazing. Your work is like a part of your life, right? So उससे कितना दूर आप
Yeah.
भाग सकते हो? It's good that you
Thank
guys are having fun along with this in this journey. Amazing. So now shifting gears back to the business, uh, what are some of the challenges you think people face in today's world where when they think of starting a business? Or what are you guys facing, like the obstacles in running your business?
Uh, Challenges, it is just challenges.
Hmm.
The success is the outcome of a lot of challenges. When we talk about the good things only for some time, but then behind the good things, there's a big journey. And the even more challenging part is People say that I have a ready template to achieve this success for your business. Do this, achieve that. You know, trust me, based on our experience with growing two brands, which is doing decently well at this time, what we have understood is there is no secret sauce, there is no secret recipe, and there is no fixed template for growing or making a business successful. It's the journey which makes it successful. It's your uh, tips, tricks, failures, obstacles along your way or your journey, which you will learn and unlearn and improvise and optimize, which will eventually make your business successful. So, the challenging part is to give up. But if you don't,
Hmm.
uh, there are hundreds of ways to, to achieve success. For us, I would say the biggest obstacle for the challenge in today's context is people, you
Yes.
know. So, what happens is you can have a great vision, but it's only your team members which, when aligned with your vision or your dreams, can help you achieve that vision or make that vision a reality. So getting people on your team aligned with you, aligned with your vision, optimize every day, and are energetic enough to live the dream together with you. That's the most challenging part. So we are trying to figure out every day. We are getting a little better each day, trying to find the right people in the team. But we believe that you cannot do it alone. So you need the right kind of people in your team to do that.
You know, I think you have to really be lucky with people. I have seen organization having strictest of interviews, long processes of mapping people, but a lot of time things doesn't turn out well, because after all, that's a human on other side. You might be able to map on certain FAQs or some multiple objective answers, his aptitude, his psyche, but at the real life scenario, how he is behaving on the floor, how he's responding to certain thing, he or she is very different. So you really need to be lucky, I think, with the people. So the human resource is the greatest strength, how much ever technology we might have, but certain things like some common sensical solution in the real life scenario, only people can solve and their intelligence can solve, and not like an AI generated answer or a case study can really solve it. So we have to get that people who have IQ and EQ both at the
Agreed.
same
And
time.
I think, as they say, more than skills, the attitude matters. If a person's attitude
True,
is
true,
good,
true.
they can
So
achieve
whenever
everything.
Yeah. So whenever we get teammates in our, when we add team people in our team, we keep on saying, and we are a strong believer on one particular thing is, skill sets is something that can be, acquired over a period of time. But, your attitude, your personality, or your,
Character.
character is something which is inherent. It cannot be, you cannot grow that, you cannot build on that. Character is there by birth. So we just trying to find the people with the right character.
Totally agree. So, where do you see Huts and Looms in next 5 to 10 years? What is the long-term vision for the company?
Vision is very big.
Mhm.
The vision is is so big that we right now, in several occasions when people ask us, who are your competitors, right? So we say that this particular category or segment does not, we need more of brands like us to operate in this particular space, because we are here to create a very big impact. Okay, impact of bringing the Indian fashion on the global forefront. Everybody's talking today of creating legacy brands, legacy fashion brands. We don't have any. I mean, we have very few of them. the global, when you talk about the global context, there's so much of fashion legacy brands. So if we want to create a very big impact towards weavers, community, fashion, bringing out the Indian heritage and the craft on a global sphere, you need, as I said, hundreds of huts and looms and people who are operating in the same space. So we see huts and looms growing to that scale of create so that we can really create an impact of giving back and bringing the Indian fashion context to the global scenario together with all the brands that are operating in the similar space. So they are definitely not competition. We are all here we can easily coexist and create a strong, very big, strong impact. So that's so. And having said that, um, definitely just attaching a number in terms of revenue is a very smaller vision that we don't want to make the vision a very small thing. Our vision is very big in that context.
Wonderful. Wonderful. So, lastly, any message or advice you would like to give to the aspiring entrepreneurs who want to start a business?
So one of the thing I would like to tell that there is no shortcut.
Hmm.
So you make mistake, you fall, you pick yourself up. Uh, there will be ups, there will be bad days, there will be days where you will feel like this is a mistake I did. It is a grave blunder. You might have that kind of feeling. It's only the patience. If you are very true to your intention, if you believe in your dream, then only you can exist, because there will be competition, there will be challenges, because and even more if you are venturing into something where it's an unknown territory. Like for us, D2C and textile fashion was really unknown territory for us. So we did mistake, we had failures, we have days where we really sat and thought what were we doing, which direction we should go, because we do not know anything about D2C industry, and it was also evolving at very fast pace at that time. So to have the courage to learn from people, be keen observer what is going around in the industry, and learn from the mistakes of other than successes, I believe. I think because success stories are always there, people less talk about failures. If I fail, I would never go into a podcast or somewhere and talk about my failure, that is why I failed. But I believe that we also should find out businesses why they did well. What were the things which went against them, and try to reach out to their founders or people who have worked on that specific segment. Failure gives us more insight, I believe. So I think that would be my suggestion, to be brave, to have patience, to learn from the mistakes. Yeah.
Uh, I would say if you think that your idea is so strong and so convincing enough that you can put everything on the line for that particular idea. If you think that if you yourself, you have to ask, that person has to ask themselves that is this idea worthy enough that I put all my wealth, all my savings online to build this? If the answer is yes, definitely go for it. Okay. The worst thing that can happen is you fail. But then once you have the character of putting everything on the line, you will also find the answers to come back again. Okay. So that is very important. But on the contrary, people in today's context, one of the very vague reasons to start entrepreneurship is making more money. Huts and Looms is bootstrapped, but in the first 2 years, we put everything on the line, right? And and yet failed miserably. Okay. And here we are today, right? And clocking our biggest, we are closing this financial year at almost 150% year-on-year growth. Um, and so it's just a character. You should have strong conviction on and belief in what you're doing. No matter, I mean, it could lead to failure. I mean, but then, as Jaya said, that's the biggest learning. We today, the learnings that we got out of our own failures are the classic classroom learning or practical learnings for us. And we know, and post that, we have strategized and optimized ourselves in such a way that that those failures turned out to be our biggest turning points, and I mean, based on those failures, the decisions that we took, be it on the marketing, be it on the tech front, be it on the product, we had lakhs and lakhs worths of inventories just wasted by doing R&D, but those were the backbones for our kind of turnaround today. If you have it to stake everything that you have in your idea and you have the belief on it, go for it. And don't be afraid of failures. It's just part of the process. Yeah, and you just need to look at the brighter silver lining, that, it will turn out good because you have to have that belief in yourself.
So I would like to add one point, as Tufan said, that you have to have conviction in your idea. A lot of time, people are going to question your choices. When me and Tufan started the Huts and Loom, the sari business, a lot of my ex-colleague told me, who wears a sari nowadays? Why are you going into sari business? Yeah. So there was these question. A lot of people in my family and relatives do also look down upon this business, like you are quitting HR job and you are selling saris. Who is going to, because they don't understand the sari can also be fashionable. They only think that the jeans and t-shirt have this international brand presence and those kind of aura. And sari being only like limited to the shops, the local shops and everything. So somewhere that kind of perception was there. So people are going to question your choices, but it is only if you believe in your dream. I think there is market for every product. So it is how
And
you
mhm. I
present them.
strongly believe sari is like something that never goes out of fashion. And I have seen some of your saris. They are like really, really stylish and fashionable, I must say. It doesn't look like it's a handloom sari. Like they are like fancy party wear. So you guys are doing amazing and amazing message for the entrepreneurs. Before we wrap up, any message that you would like to share with our viewers? Because the objective of our Good Vibe show is to spread positivity and show the kindness in the world that still exists. So, would you like to share any message?
First of all, I would say, Vandana, you are doing a very commendable job, because, when there is a world where there is a lot of negativity, there is lot of trolling out there, there is a content where people are misleading people in terms of being viral. There you are presenting authentic content. Uh, I mean, bringing guests who can give insightful, be honest with their interviews. So I think that itself is very, very commendable thing, because people like you bring the honest side, because today when you look at the social media, after a while you feel very manipulated about your choices,
Hmm.
about your even certain decision you take, seeing okay, रील में बताया खाने के बाद पानी नहीं पीना है, नहीं तो ये हो जाएगा. Now you are just thinking, oh, मैंने तो पानी पी लिया. So understand what you have done from your childhood. Now you are changing again. You see another reel where says नहीं पानी पीना चाहिए, so you would start drinking water. So this is how the content are nowadays, right? People give half information. So I think kudos to you, and to the viewers. I think you should follow more and more shows and podcasts which are real, which bring positive news, positive things to them, because energy attracts. The more positive you listen, the more positive surrounding you have. So that's
No, I
what.
mean, same vibes, same positive vibes. At the same time, this conversation, how long? We've been just speaking for the last 1.5 hours, but it did not look like a podcast to me at all. It was like I was just having a conversation with an old friend, across two different time zones. But then it was so natural and it was so organic. I mean, we shared our pose our heart out, and strongly recommend to the viewers to definitely subscribe to the show and spread lots of love and positivity.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your kind words. It was a pleasure talking to both of you. You guys are doing commendable job, not as business partners, but also as life partners. So you are setting goals for everyone, an example. So amazing. Thank you so much again for sharing your incredible journey and insights.
Thank you so much, Vandana. Thank you so
Wish
much.
you all the best.
Thank you so much.
So, viewers, if you enjoyed this conversation, don't forget to like, share, and follow for more inspiring stories. And of course, check out Huts and Looms to support their amazing work. Until next time, keep spreading good vibes.